There was one that bounced out that went out on the full as well. So Doncaster's certainly looking more dangerous up forward. So if they can keep doing that, there's no reason why they can't just put a couple on the board and get some breathing space.
Start of the second term from Schramm's reserve. It's Doncaster by a solitary point. McKenzie won the tap out for the ruck contest, and a free kick is being picked out. It might be advantage going the way of the Sharks. It is too, as Pearson hacks the ball towards centre half forward, looking in the Anarchist direction. It's a fickle bounce in the Lumachese direction. He takes it, gives the hand pass off. A shot on goal for the Sharks. Is this the first major of the afternoon? Yes, it is, and it's through the aid of Steve Muller. So Doncaster finally with first blood in the opening seconds of the second term. They lead the Mulgrave Footy Club 1-8 to the Lions, one behind. Finally, we're on the board, boys.
Yeah, there's a quick clearance. I think that was the difference there, Damo. No time for Mulgrave to get back and flood the forward line. But that man, Josh Lumachese, involved again, and a great finish from Muller as well. That was a good goal. Good block.
Absolutely, and I think that was the way we wanted to see Doncaster play in that first half, which they showed really glimpses of it, but it finally got clicked in that first passage to play.
Let's quickly go down boundary side thanks to Life Care. Alice Molberg.
Yeah, I just listened into the Doncaster quarter-time huddle, and they just spoke about how happy they were with the work effort. And although that hadn't translated to the scoreboard, how they just need to keep it up in this quarter, and obviously that has translated with the first goal of the second term.
Thank you very much, Claire. Currell picked the ball up. Booth was down there as well. The ball's in the half-forward line now for Mulgrave.
Oh, is Alice down there?
Apologies, Alice. Told the girls I'd try my best not to mix them up all day, and I've done it on the first cross. Unbelievable as Booth takes it from the stoppage, barged his way through, got a little handball out. That was okay. Stokey went without before he had the football. Doncaster through Schimmelbusch, he picked the ball up. Nice tackle there by David Wazer. The ball eventually spilled out to West. Can he get boot to ball? McGarnis is right on his hammer. West goes after it again. Eventually the ball goes right next to that boundary line / behind post, and I think it actually hit the bottom of the post, so we'll have a boundary throw in. So McKenzie versus Booth. Third man up, Cheeseman won it in the end. Came straight down though to Johnson. So Ben Johnson seems to have an eternity in the end, and the kick will have to be good, and it is. James C. Cavalis takes it across the half back line in front of Siakoulis.
It's a tongue twister.
Certainly is. The ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds, almost on the wing position now. The kick wasn't too crash hot, seen over by Knowles.
Let's go around the grounds with Dyson Baker.
Sharp from you, Will Taylor. I like it. Blackburn 5-8-38 lead South Croydon 1 straight 6 at quarter time. Vermont 6-5-41, 23-point leaders over Scoresby 3 straight 18 in Division 2. Bayswater 5-4-34 lead by 32 points over Doncaster East, 2 behinds 2 points. As we know, the radio game 2 behinds to 1. It was at quarter time. Heathmont 4-1-25 lead by 18 points over Glen Waverley 1-1. A 4-point ball game, Upper Ferntree Gully 2-5-17 lead Ringwood 2-1-13, and at 3-4-22 Boronia leads South Belgrave yet to score.
Well, it's deep inside the attacking territory for Mulgrave. The Sharks have the numbers at the fall of the ball. Eventually, no one can quite get it out of the scrimmage. Schimmelbusch eventually rushes it through for a behind, and it's a minor score. So Mulgrave moved to 2 behinds. They trail Doncaster 1-8 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Dyson, some more scores?
Yeah, the last couple of scores in Division 4, I think due to the lessened scores in the first quarter, we're ahead of every other game in the league at the moment. Ferntree Gully 6-6-42, lead by 41 points over Nutter Wadding, 1 behind 1 point, and Warrandyte 6-2-38, 30-point leaders over Surrey Park 1-8.
We'll see Cavalis kicked it into the middle. Gladman pinged it back up towards the half-forward line now for Mulgrave, and that's where the ball will be thrown back up.
It seems like Doncaster's really clogging up Mulgrave's forward line, which Mulgrave just can't seem to get in their forward line.
Well, the kick to the hot spot, about 40 metres out from goal. What a sensational mark there by Matty Schimmelbusch, who wastes no time either. Hot to trot, got it away to Rumboldi, who's got a little bit of room to move here. He needs to get boot to ball because he almost ran too far. The kick goes towards Anarchis. There's definitely holding on there. And Chris Anarchis wins the free kick about 10 metres out from goal. Advantage will be paid, and he slams through his first goal of the afternoon and kicks it almost into the afternoon. function.
Yeah,
here
the coterie
today.
group they've got going on this afternoon.
Fantastic bit of play there, though.
Knocked over someone's jug.
Just a smart footballer, isn't he, though, Paul? Because when the kick wasn't for a lead per se, but it was into the position where it created a one-on-one contest, and he just had his bum in the right position. He was standing in front and won the free.
And that's just the mark of a great man. I think Jamo's actually got the job on Anarchis. He seems to be next to him every time the ball goes near the two. It just shows how worried they are about Chris Anarchis. They know he's just an absolute superstar, and he almost had to hold on to him. The Aussie was going to get away anyway.
Doncaster 2-2, Mulgrave 2 behind as we see it out of the middle. Ramboldi again getting into the action in this second term, but Mulgrave have the weight of numbers through Fredericks. Swings it round his body towards the half-forward flank. A 2-on-2 contest. McKenzie, brilliant roving from the big man. Gets the hand pass out wide. Fiora evades a couple of would-be tacklers. Eventually gets the hand pass back, and the Sharks can move it forward. It's a Twizzly ball towards the centre wing position. Kinnear caught behind. Gladman takes the mark in front for the Lions.
Is that a word?
Wow.
Looked like that candy, the Twizzler. Mark taken by Young on the half-back flank. Can switch the play across the half-back line for the Lions. Eventually finds his target in Gilling. Looks out wide. Jamar takes it just inside the boundary line. And he can hold the play up and look for a couple of targets. He wants to run. Chips it back inboard towards centre half-back. Gilling takes the mark. Just settling it down here, the Lions, but it didn't work out. They turned it straight over, and Lumachisi takes the mark. Swings it round his body, a little dribbling pass in towards the pocket. Kept in play by Anarchis. Brilliant evasion. Swings onto the left foot.
Clever.
Kick towards full form was brilliant. All on his own, Zach Carroll kicks the third major for the Sharks. That was clinical play, and Doncaster 3-2-20 lead Mulgrave 2 behind. They're establishing a buffer 4 minutes into the second term on the Bendigo Max scoreboard.
And coming off that turnover from Mulgrave, you could see that Mulgrave was trying to get back, but Doncaster really, some fantastic plays, including Zach Carroll, really spread, and it resulted in the 3-on-1 and an easy goal as a result.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Doncaster 3 goals from 3 inside 50s this quarter. Certainly a welcome change from what we saw, but yet they trailed inside 50 camp 4-3.
For whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to be as congested as it was in the first quarter. I don't know whether Mulgrave have just decided that enough was enough and it's no point dropping plays back anymore, or it's just the way that Doncaster are running and spreading and working harder around the footy.
That came from a turnover, though, so I think it was their own doing.
The way the first quarter was played as well, you didn't think it was going to continue like that for too much longer as Malloy spilled the football, but I think he might have won the free kick here, or was it going to go back to McKenzie? Instead it might go to Sia Coolers. It does. Middle of the ground, we eventually worked it out, and he wasted no time either as he drives the ball inside forward 50. It was a floating kick, but it might work out okay here as Wazer gets a little handball up towards the west direction. He couldn't quite pick up the football. Parker goes in. He picked up a clean football in the end. Little handball out wide. That was good play. On the right boot, they get out of that danger zone, and Carroll takes the mark for Doncaster across that half-back line. Moving it on now. That was a good kick, Schimmelbusch. Certainly having a good game so far, but as sometimes it does, the disposal let him down here. Sia Coolers also having a good game early in the piece, drives the ball inside forward 50. Doncaster have the numbers at the back of the pack, and the clearing kick sort of went to no man's land, and Sia Coolers saw the opportunity to knock the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds and win the stoppage. So 7.5 minutes gone here. Handy lead to Doncaster. 3 goals in the second term. And a 3-goal lead to boot. Umpire throws it in. Gladman got a little handle on that one. Leicester dribbled a kick inside forward 50. Bouncing football right near that boundary line. Wazer leads out the race, but the paint beats all players, and we'll see a boundary throw in.
Does seem more congested, though, Will. Lumachisi and Anarchis the only players inside the 50 for Doncaster.
Yeah, look, I think the Doncaster philosophy is to try to clog up Mulgrave's forward 50, and they're using double, triple teaming, especially on the Mulgrave's ball. Use inside Mulgrave's forward 50.
Both sides really working in numbers today. See a lot of tackles being laid by 1, 2 and 3 players as the umpire throws it up. Johnson screaming for a bit of a free kick here, but Ramboldi somehow released a handball out wide. That was okay, but Leicester letting his opponent go anywhere in Parker, and we'll have a bounce just inside the centre square out here at Shram's Reserve. Hope you're enjoying AFL Game Day. It's a 3-goal lead to the home side, but Siakoulis wants to do something about that as he kicks the ball inside forward 50, and it was absolutely bang on too. And a man who's been really presenting well, David Wazer, in this first quarter and a bit. Paul Semasides takes the mark, and the short passes on now. He obviously wasn't too confident in his approach, and well, why wouldn't you kick it to your full forward as Booth comes out, and he'll have a shot on goal from about 35 metres.
Yeah, Wazer's been probably Mulgrave's most dangerous looking forward so far this afternoon. I think they've gone to more often than anyone else up forward, and he was pretty good then in a one-on-one. But that was the thing, Damo. We didn't see too many one-on-ones up forward inside the first quarter.
So Booth comes in, an important kick for his side, and he kicks it straight over the goal umpire's head. He's used to doing that, and he kicks Mulgrave's first goal. It took them almost a quarter and a half to do so, but on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they move to 1-2-8. It's back to a 2-goal margin here. Doncaster 3-2-20.
You can see that was the first opportunity Amber actually had a chance in kicking for goal, because Ben Nagami is absolutely strangling him at the moment in the first quarter and a half, and obviously, Dave Wazer, his matchup is Luke Park, and Luke Park has done a fantastic job so far.
He certainly has been very valiant across the ground, certainly with his marking power and just influence around the scrimmages. It's been one of those games where it suits Luke Parker as we're back in the middle. Mulgrave with their first blood, but Doncaster want to change that and get their fourth goal on the board. A free kick's been picked out of the stoppage. It's going away at Mulgrave for holding the ball. And the recipient is Knowles, who sends it out wide in the direction of his teammate in Roper. Couldn't quite take the mark. Kick off the ground from Fiora. Sees some respite, and we'll have a throw in on centre wing on the eastern side of Shram's reserve.
Anarchis has spent absolutely no time, midfield time this afternoon. He's currently, I think he's playing more at a full. He's in the forward pocket at the moment, but he's lining up at full forward. Don't think Jamo would be too happy with that. I mean, Anarchis got far too much class in front of goal.
Well, Gladman won the tap down, and once again a stoppage is being called as a couple of players are wrapped up. Certainly a congested, tight game, this one. Although perfect conditions on this Saturday afternoon thus far. Mackenzie won the tap out, and a throw is being called. It's going against the Sharks, and the recipient for Mulgrave will be Siakoulis.
Big quarter.
He's having a lot of the football.
Absolutely. He's accumulating those possessions on centre wing. Siakoulis. Been one of the highlights of Mulgrave's season, certainly in their resurgence in the opening weeks, but he's obviously coughed it up with the hand pass. Eventually tried to lay the tackle to rectify his mistake. Wins the football back. Kinnear wraps him up, and eventually we'll have a bounce. I always seem to put the moz on these players. You give them a wrap, and then they ruin it for you.
Have a look at the size difference between Siakoulis when he was in a big bear hug from Benny Kinnear. It looks like he was about to envelop him.
Speaking of bear hugs, Kinnear won that one and got booted ball out of the stoppage. A bit of a fresh air shot in the end, but it was nicely picked up there by Young. Made it look like he had a lot of time in the end and swung a kick out wide where it's been taken by Roper, who swings around on the right boot, sends the ball inside forward 50, but getting it back into position A was Maganas. Short pass over the top. I think that might have even been Parker then as the kick comes out towards Pearson. Takes it. It's the half-back line. Short passes on. It's okay. See Cavallis, centre half back now for Doncaster. Avoiding the corridor a little bit here today, although Jarvis presents in there and he takes the mark. What Humphrey wants, Humphrey gets, and there's a little handball away. That was okay. Kick swings out wide towards the Ramboldi direction.
Been good.
It has to be quick here, which is what a usual trait of his. Goes after it again. Gets rid of the handball now. Nearly could have been pinged. Doncaster will get a chance now through C. Cavallis. He went nearly too far without the football, and eventually he got pinged with Grocott running onto it. But the umpire said bring it back, and Mulgrave through Knowles on the right boot now. Oh, long, beautiful kick out towards the Gilling direction, and had enough weight in it for him to run onto it too as Gilling drives the ball inside forward 50. It was a good kick too. Booth had one bite at it. Oh, Wazer's copped one on in the shoulder for his troubles. It was accidental, but it was certainly there, and David Wazer will go back and have a shot on goal for his first of the afternoon and to reduce this margin to just back to one kick.
Yeah, he's been very good this afternoon, and obviously Luke Parker's a fantastic player in his own right, but at the moment Dave Wazer is really putting a stranglehold.
It's been difficult with this twisterly wind this afternoon, but Wazer makes it look ever so easy, and he puts it over the goal umpire's head for his first of the afternoon. That's Mulgrave's second, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 15-minute mark almost, we'll make that 14-minute mark, and it is back to a one-goal margin, Will Taylor.
Absolutely, and Mulgrave is starting to use the ball in their forward line more properly than what they played for pretty much the first half of this second quarter, and also that the whole of that first quarter.
Well, I think Doncaster would be pretty disappointed to give up 2 goals like that. They had most of their 10 minutes of the second term, and it looked like they were almost just going to go about their business nicely for the next 3 quarters. But no, full credit to the Lions. They've got playing the footy that they want to play, and they're absolutely dominating out of the stoppage situation.
Well, Mulgrave reducing the deficit to a goal as we're back in the middle, and a free kick has been paid to Mulgrave for a holding the ball decision against Mackenzie.
Fowler.
And the recipient is indeed Brad Fowler from the middle of Schramm's reserve. He's got a couple of options deep. He looks in that direction. It's a 2-on-1 contest at centre half forward. Brilliant spoil from Fiora. But again, Mulgrave have the numbers. They read the play well through Jamar. Gilling, brilliantly done in a tight situation. It's a vacant square. They've got the numbers. Picking the ball up is Wazer. Swings it round his body and scores a level again. Mulgrave with their third major. They're 3-2-20, matching Doncaster on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've gone 14 and a half minutes in this second term.
Absolutely, and Mulgrave really starting to put the pedals on Doncaster. I love to know the stats from Grant Campbell on the clearances, because every time that Mulgrave's won the clearance, this goes inside forward 50, and they're using the ball a lot easier and more flowy than ever.
A bit undisciplined as well, the Sharks. I've noticed the last 5 or so minutes that Mulgrave, the recipient of a few free kicks in and around the stoppage as well. So they're getting free use of the footy out of the centre, which AT wouldn't be too happy with for Doncaster.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. It's all square as Galache will go after the football. A bit of a wrong and sees it fall in the hands of Kinnear across the centre half forward line. After there was Cheeseman. He overran the football, and Jarvis lays a good tackle and just inside the centre square. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Same story as the first quarter. Doncaster winning the hit-outs 8-6, but Mulgrave winning the clearances 9-6.
Well, Booth won that one over the top of Kinnear, and he eventually got the handball back, but he had to be pulled apart by Zach Carroll and Kinnear in the process. And once again, we'll have a bounce. Booth, Kinnear, we'll give that one to Kinnear. Nicely done there by West. Little handball over the top, and now this is Fredericks on the right boot. It was a spearing pass, and it was a good one too as Roper takes it. He's done all right too, leading out in front, swings around on the right boot. It was a decent old kick too. The ball floated up in the air, so it had a lot of time to create the spoil as Jarvis is back there. Doncaster have the numbers as the kick goes across the face of goal towards Galache, who got paid the mark probably before he pulled it in, but certainly was there. So they've switched it across to the coach's side of the ground, and they decided they don't like that side of the ground, so they'll go back the other way here, as it's a dangerous switch as well, as all of a sudden a foot race is created here off the ground there by Schimmelbusch. Goes up towards the half forward line. Leading out in front was Matt Young for Mulgrave, seeing it over the boundary line and out of bounds right near that Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which sees it as all square. Had a pretty good run of late with the radio game right throughout season 2014, and we're hoping, Damo, that this is no different. That's always about the team, mate.
That's it. Kinnear got the hand pass down, brilliantly tapped towards Anarchis as the kick went in his direction, but it beats him to the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in deep in the forward pocket for the Sharks. Tell you what, a couple of their forward entries have been a little errant in this quarter, Seymour.
Yeah, Chris Anarchis was out by a mile then, but Zach Carroll streaming through. Only just missed it. There was only a couple of inches in it. Jeremy Grocot's the interesting one. He's been a fantastic little goal sneak up forward for the Sharks this year. I don't think he's had a possession yet this afternoon, so he'll be looking to get off the chain and really enjoy a good second half here.
Well, they're struggling to retrieve the ball from behind the cricket nets. Eventually it does come back. Once again, you've got to love the local football atmosphere. So a throw in deep in the Sharks forward line. Just get the sense that they need a goal to stem the flow to an extent. Kinnear missed the tap out. Eventually it falls out the back in the direction of Fredericks, trying to run onto it, but Doncaster have the numbers. Johnson weaves his way through traffic. Got the hand pass out in the direction of Colinari. Tried to do likewise, lost the football. Schimmelbusch races after it, but the Lions have the weight of numbers. Hand pass comes out to Stokey. Now Sia Cavellis gets it onto his boot. In fact, it's Sia Koulis towards centre half forward in the direction of Carroll. Couldn't quite take it. Chasing after it there is Cheeseman, but Doncaster again with the numbers. Fiora composed, kicks it out wide towards centre wing, and Doncaster have 3 players to link up with as Johnson takes the ball on centre wing, looks in the direction of his teammate in Grocott. It was spoiled away from him in the corridor. Mulgrave have the numbers. Lester picks it up. He's gang tackled. Umpire will call for a bounce, and that gives us a perfect opportunity to head boundary side thanks to Live Care and Alice Molberg.
Yeah, we have a bit of an injury update. We've just had Angelo Rambaldi come off clutching his eye, which is bleeding, and we've just currently got a Mulgrave player coming off.
Yes, indeed. It looks as if it's a facial injury.
Yeah, Tim Knowles holding his nose, which is heavily bleeding, I think, by the looks of it.
Certainly a long casualty list, BWS.
Yeah, as Jamo got it out wide to Butler. Went to go back to Jamo, and Arcus came in for the Sharks. Had a lot of time in the end, did Chris. Got the handball
Always
back.
does.
Nicely done there by Carroll. They're linking up through the middle here. This is Pearson on the right boot. Kicks it up towards a half-forward line where Luma Cheesy's got to come in and put his body on the line because he had 2 lines to beat at the fall of the ball. This is Cruz. Takes off and kicks it up towards a half-forward line over the top of McGarnis's head drop. What he normally maybe would have taken there. Roper up towards the half-forward line. Going after it now is West. He's got a little bit of time. Does West. Snaps it around the body. Bouncing football. Which way will it go? It was nicely done by Schimmelbusch to force the rush behind. And over she goes. But it is now the lead to the Mulgrave Football Club by that solitary point on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've reached time on here in the second term. 3-3-21 plays 3-2-20.
So the clearing kick for Doncaster. It was dropped at the end at the back by Sia Cavellis. He's claimed by a couple of lines and will have a bounce on centre half forward. In fact, it was Fowler at the back. And we'll have a bounce at centre half forward for the Mulgrave Football Club. All set in motion. Jarvis won the tap out. Brilliantly roved by Siakoulis, but the hand pass was ineffective. McKenzie trying to barge his way through. Johnson was claimed. No free kick as he was held on to.
Stuck in the clay.
Leicester, they are in the glue pot, aren't they? And a free kick has been picked out in the centre of the ground. And a bit of feeling here between McKenzie and his opponent in Gladman. It's going to come back for Mulgrave to Siakoulis, who just waltzes forward, kicks towards the pocket in the direction of Wazer. He fell to ground at the crucial moment. Fiora dives in. Marganis is there as well. A free kick's being picked out, holding the ball. It'll be a Mulgrave shot on goal from 45 metres out, and this can give them the lead. Let's head to Grant Campbell thanks to Choose-Tap.
Inside 50s, 15-6 in favour of Mulgrave, and they've changed their game style a bit. They were going at 1 kick per handball in the first quarter. Second quarter, they've had 36 kicks and 15 handballs.
So David Wazer will have a shot on goal from 45 metres out. It'll be a very acute angle to contend with, as well as the breeze, which has been fickle this afternoon. Wazer from 45 metres out, hoists it high. It's long. Is it straight? Hasn't quite got the carry. It's marked right on the goal line. And it won't be a score. McKenzie taking it on the last line of defence. Kicks it out wide. Wazer chipped into intercept. And it was good play to lock it in the forward line. It'll be a throw in right in the forward pocket for Mulgrave.
Let's head around the grounds with Dyson Baker.
Yeah, got most of them now, boys. Baldwin 10-1-61. 55-point leaders at quarter time over Knox 1 straight 6. Blackburn, as I mentioned before, 5-8-38. They lead by 32 points over South Croydon. Noble Park 3-3-21 lead Lilydale 3 behinds 3 points. Montrose 6-2-38. 27-point leaders over East Ringwood. Vermont lead by 23 points at quarter time. Bayswater 5-4-34 lead by 32 points. 2 behinds 2 points Doncaster East. East Burwood 4-3-27, 15-point leaders over the Waverley Blues. And in Division 3, Heathmont 18-point leaders over Glen Waverley. Upper Fentry Gully 4-point leaders over Ringwood. 2-5 plays 2-1. Templestowe 7-2-44 lead by 35 points over Churnside Park 1-3-9. Boronia kept South Belgrave scoreless. They scored 3-4-22 themselves. Mitcham 7-9-51, 34-point leaders over the Bears 2-5-17. Wanchurna South 3-6-24, 13-point leaders over the Pioneers 1-5-11. And in Division 4, Ferntree Gully 6-6-42, 41-point leaders over the Titans. Forest Hill 4-1-25 kept Park Orchards goalless, 18-point leaders. Park Orchards 7 behind 7 points. Sylvan 8-2-50, 36-point leaders over Kilsyth 2-2-14. And Warrandyte 6-2-38, 30-point leaders over Surrey Park 1-2-8.
Great stuff, Dyson. The ball's in the forward line for Doncaster now. It was a bit stagnant in that part there. They had the chance. That was Gilling linked up in the middle there to Cheeseman, who got it on to Leicester. On the right boot, kicks it up towards a half-forward line. Intended target out there was Roper, but he's got Fiora right there, and who was leading the chase as well. So he sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Half-forward line for Doncaster.
I can sense a bit
for Mulgrave, I should say.
I can sense a bit of a change in regards to how the first quarter, second quarter has been played so far, with Mulgrave patiently going in there forward 50 and Doncaster just bombing it.
Well, Johnson did well to link up in the middle of the ground, and he takes off again. Does Ben, kicks it up towards the Luma Cheesy direction over the top of his head. He had Cruz right on his hammer. Jamo's going to lead the chase here for Mulgrave. He'll probably want the safety of the boundary line here. He does so. And a nice little nudge by the Cheese. Sees him over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Doesn't Johnson's run evoke memories of his Collingwood days?
It certainly does.
Absolutely.
Gets me excited.
You're wearing a Bulldogs beanie. Doesn't even make sense. The umpire throws it in. Maybe he's telling us about a bet that he lost. That we had something to do with that as the kick goes out wide to Butler. Only hear about the wins. You're a true gambler. As the kick by Doncaster goes inside forward 50 to the Lima Cheesy direction. There was holding. Go back. The umpire missed it. Kick off the ground. Well, that was by Young and through for a rush behind in the end. And well, Josh just letting the umpire know that he was just being felt upon there and sporting a decent old mo there is Lima Cheesy. So the kick comes back in now for Mulgrave. Not long to go, you would think, in this second term, as the kick from Jamo was crash hot too. Fredericks takes it across the half-back line. The players across centre half-back in Fowler, and he screamed for the football. He's usually got really good hands, took the mark. So he'll go back now.
They're doing well just to set the play up from the back now, Mulgrave.
They are really, as Young donning the orange boots this afternoon. Had a little bit of time with a nice shepherd there from Currell. Move the ball forward. Running now is Gilling on the right boot. Gave the old don't argue and kicked it up towards centre half forward at the fall. The ball West kicks it inside forward 50. It was an up and under kick. It was a bit of a haymaker in the end, but the big man Booth might be the first player to go after this one. Going in hard there was McGarnis as well. Nicely done there by Fitzpatrick. He showed really good poise then. Got the handball away just in the nick of time to Malloy, who handballs over the top now. Now Doncaster seem like they've got the time and create another attack. The kick goes up towards the wing position to the Sia Cavallis direction. A big fly over the back was to no avail by Butler. They've got the numbers through Gilling, though, the Lions in the half-back line. He kicks it in towards the middle of the ground. It was intended for Jamo, but it was nicely done there by Stoke. He got the handball across to Sia Coolis, but he was nicely tackled by Carroll, who went after two brilliant tackles by Carroll. Won the football. Doncaster, they'll get up if they can spill it out here as Jamo goes after it again. And Arcus in the middle, scooped on the football, kicks it up towards the half-forward line, bouncing football. Which way is this one going to go? Luma Cheesy goes after it. Got brought to ground in the end. Handball out towards Galache. He's a clever footballer. Can he put it through on the left boot? Pushes it to the left-hand side, and a minor score is the result, giving Doncaster the lead once again here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've gone 26 minutes here in this second term, and it is a 1-point ball game.
Take a bow, Zach Carroll. That was sensational in the middle of the ground. Wrapped up Dean Siakoulis, who was off and running for all money, and then grabbed the next bloke and dumped him into the ground. Created a scoring opportunity for the Doncaster Football Club.
Matt Young, the designated kicker for the Lions, finds the target in Siakoulis. Hand pass out wide, looking for his teammate in Fowler, who was claimed, but got it back to Siakoulis. He's been impressive in this second term. Torpedo punt towards centre wing. Over the top, Roper couldn't quite take the mark. Tried to follow up his own ball. Hand pass comes out. Luma Cheesy trying to barge his way through there was Glad, but couldn't quite take it. Doncaster have the numbers now. Colinari, they link it up through the wing. A long ball from Young towards Muller. And Muller takes the mark over the top. That was a quintessential high mark. He can go back and have a shot from 45 metres out, and only a slight angle to contend with.
Had his name written all over that one.
Indeed. Wasn't that good ball movement?
It was crisp. It was one of the first times for the afternoon you've seen that real crispness from Doncaster, and they're able to create the one extra inside the forward pocket. And you're right, BWS did just floated across the back and just clunked it perfectly.
Steve Muller can shoot for his first major of the afternoon from 40 metres out on the half-time siren. It looks as if he's converted. He has. And Doncaster, as a consequence, take a 7-point lead into the major break. They're 4-4-28, leading Mulgrave 3-3-21 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
That was a quarter of almost two halves, almost 3 or 4 halves, or 3 or 4 quarters. Doncaster cycled off well. Mulgrave rested it back into their favour. They played some good footy for a while there, and the last 5 minutes.